The story starts with 3 Shadowhunters, Izzy, Alec, and Jace, chasing a demon that can change its shape. They're working together to corner it, but just as Jace is about to catch it, he bumps into a girl named Clary. Jace is shocked and asks her, "You can see me?" The story then flashes back 8 hours. We learn that it's Clary's 18th birthday. She's an artist from Brooklyn who wants to get into the Brooklyn Academy of Arts. She goes for an interview with her portfolio, which is filled with drawings of demons and strange symbols she calls runes. Clary has no idea that Shadowhunters or their world are real. Because her art is so unique, she gets accepted into the academy. Later, she meets her friend Simon at a cafe. While talking to her friend, she puts a piece of bread on the paper. After a moment, they both look down in shock. The bread has turned into a simple drawing. They make plans with their friend Maureen to go to a party later that night. The scene then cuts to a man named Luke, who is at a crime scene where 7 people have been murdered. All the bodies have been completely drained of blood. In the next scene, a woman named Dot is giving Clary a tarot card reading. Dot calls herself a magician and pulls a card with a cup on it. Clary's mother, Jocelyn, is there too, and they're both happy about Clary getting into art school. Jocelyn gives Clary a family heirloom, a pen-like tool called a steel that's used to draw runes. She tries to tell Clary the truth about their family, but Clary is too distracted thinking about her friends. This leads to a flashback from 10 years ago. A young Clary is playing when a demon attacks her. Jocelyn saves her just in time. Fearing for her daughter's safety, Jocelyn takes Clary to a powerful man named Magnus and asks him to erase Clary's memories of the shadow world. Magnus warns her that this is a mistake, as Clary will be in great danger when she's older if she doesn't know who she really is. Despite the warning, he agrees to do it. Back in the present, we learn Jocelyn and Luke only have 1 day left to tell Clary the truth before it's too late. The story goes back to Alec, Izzy, and Jace. They've discovered that someone is smuggling human blood and have tracked the demon responsible to a club. This is the same club where Clary, Simon, and Maureen are heading. As Clary waits outside, she bumps into Jace. Shadowhunters use special markings called runes to be invisible to regular humans. Usually, only other Shadowhunters can see them, but Clary can see Jace perfectly, which leaves him stunned. He asks her, "How can you see me? That means you're one of us," before he vanishes into the club. Clary is curious and follows him inside. She sees the demon giving human blood to 2 people. We find out the club belongs to Magnus, who tells the 2 people to leave. The club is full of demons, and Izzy, Jace, and Alec draw their weapons and start fighting. In the middle of the chaos, Clary somehow grabs a glowing sword, with no idea where it came from, and kills a demon with it. As she leaves, Magnus sees her and recognizes her. The 2 people from earlier, who are members of a group called the Circle, begin to follow her. When Clary gets home, her mother, Jocelyn, who is also a Shadowhunter, gives Clary her necklace and tells her that Luke is the only person she can trust. She then shoves Clary through a magic portal that takes her to the police station where Luke works. Back at the house, Dot tries to fight off the 2 Circle members, but is defeated. Jocelyn starts a fire and fights back, but more Circle members show up. Outnumbered, she declares that she will never let their leader, Valentine, build his army. She then drinks a potion that puts her into a deep sleep, and a protective shield forms around her body. At the police station, Clary overhears Luke talking to 2 Circle members. They tell him that if he gives them the cup, Jocelyn and Clary will be safe. But Luke coldly replies, "I don't care if you kill them both. You will never get the cup." Heartbroken and feeling betrayed, Clary runs away to find her mother. We then see Valentine with his Circle members. He is angry and says, "I told you not to harm Jocelyn." One of his men argues back, saying Jocelyn was once a Circle member who betrayed them. Furious at the disrespect, Valentine kills the man instantly. Clary gets back to her trashed apartment. Dot is there and asks her, "Did you see the cup? It can save Jocelyn." Clary says she doesn't know anything about a cup. Suddenly, Dot transforms into a demon, bites Clary, and is about to kill her. Jace appears just in time, kills the demon, and saves her. But the demon's poison makes Clary pass out. While unconscious, she has a vision of Valentine welcoming her mother into the Circle. When Clary wakes up, she's in the Shadowhunter's base. Jace is there, and he reassures her that she's safe. She sees her wound is gone, and a new rune has been drawn on her neck. Simon calls her, and she learns she's been unconscious for 2 days. The Shadowhunter base is hidden inside an old church, made visible only by runes. Simon manages to find her. Clary, now wearing Shadowhunter gear, goes outside to meet him. Just then, a Circle member attacks. Jace jumps in and kills him right in front of a terrified Simon. Before Simon can get the wrong idea, Jace makes himself visible. Simon is shocked by the dead body and says they need to get Luke, but Clary tells him Luke can't be trusted. Jace explains that Clary is a Shadowhunter now and that he will help her find her mother. Simon says he'll go get more help. Meanwhile, Valentine finds out that Clary exists. Clary now has to choose, find and save her mother or try to go back to her normal life, all while trying to stay safe from Valentine. We see Simon finding out about Shadowhunters, demons, and the Shadow World, which is why Jace appears in front of him. Then Jace and Clary decide to take Simon to the Shadowhunters headquarters, the Institute. To let Simon see the Institute, Jace draws a rune on his hands, and Simon is completely shocked when he sees the Institute because he's just a normal human who knows nothing about Shadowhunters, the Shadow World, or demons. He's really surprised and shocked learning about all this stuff. Jace tells Clary and Simon that Circle members are Shadowhunters too, but they're evil and they started a war against the normal Shadowhunters and the entire Shadow World a long time ago. Many people died in that war, including Jace's father. After this, they go to the training room to find out more about Clary's mom Jocelyn, while Simon stays there with Izzy. Then the scene shifts. We see a Circle member we saw in the previous episode trying to attack a warlock, but Luke shows up just in time and saves the warlock. Luke starts questioning the Circle member, but she won't tell him anything. Instead, she says, "You're a traitor," which means Luke used to be a Circle member too. Then the Circle member attacks Luke, and in the end, Luke has to kill her. The scene shifts to Clary and Jace, who go to ask Hodge about Clary's mother Jocelyn. They tell Hodge that Valentine has kidnapped Jocelyn. Hodge is really surprised to hear this because Valentine and the Circle died a long time ago. We also find out here that Hodge himself used to be a Circle member. Talking about the Circle and Valentine causes Hodge a lot of pain. Clary asks why this is happening, and Hodge explains that the Clave organization put a curse on him so that whenever he talks about Valentine and the Circle, he starts feeling pain. The Clave is an organization that controls the Shadowhunters. They're basically their leaders. Hodge tells Clary and Jace that Valentine's plan would have destroyed almost all of humanity and the entire world, and if Valentine had gotten the Mortal Cup, he would have succeeded in his plan. He also mentions that Clary's mother Jocelyn was part of the Circle, but none of this matters anymore because Jocelyn left the Circle and Valentine died in a fire years ago. Clary says her mother told her she had hidden something. She asks what the Mortal Cup is. Jace explains that the Mortal Cup is the most powerful object in the Shadow World that can create Shadowhunters and also control demons. Hodge says that if Jocelyn hid the cup, then she's in danger from Valentine. Clary apologizes to Hodge for causing him so much pain and quickly leaves. Jace follows Clary, calms her down, and explains that if you do things in the Shadow World without a plan and training, you'll die. We also learn here that Jace has never seen his mother in his entire life. Then Jace asks Clary if her mother hid the Mortal Cup somewhere. Since her mother was a Shadowhunter, doesn't she remember anything from her past? But Clary tells him her memories aren't right, which makes Jace realize that Clary's memories have been erased. Clary asks who could do something like that. Jace tells her that warlocks can do it. Clary asks what warlocks are, and Jace explains that warlocks are a species of immortal supernatural beings who can erase memories, and when they use their powers, their hands glow. This makes Clary realize that Dot is also a warlock. After this, they both decide to go find Dot because they think Dot erased Clary's memories, though we know it was actually Magnus who did it. The scene shifts to Luke, who's in Jocelyn's room taking some items to the police station to keep them safe. Dot shows up there. Luke asks where Clary is, and Dot says she sent her to Luke at the station through a portal. Luke responds that he doesn't know where Clary is. He's looking for her too. After this, Dot leaves alone to search for Clary. The scene shifts to Simon, who asks Izzy what would happen if a rune was drawn on a normal person. Izzy tells him that if a rune is drawn on a normal person, they die. This makes Simon worried about Clary, so he tries to go to her, but Izzy stops him and assures him there's no need to worry because Clary is with Jace, who's the strongest, fiercest, and fastest of all of them. Next, we see Jace trying to locate Jocelyn, but he can't because of Valentine. The scene shifts to Clary, who asks Izzy about her relationship with Jace. Izzy tells her that when Jace's parents died, her parents adopted him, and Izzy, Alec, and Jace have grown up together since childhood. Jace and Alec are like her brothers. Clary starts getting a bit stressed about Valentine, the Circle, and the Shadow World. Izzy reassures her not to worry. It's her destiny to become a Shadowhunter. The scene shifts to Luke, who tells his assistant to find Simon and follow him, because wherever Simon is, Clary will be there too. Then the scene shifts again. We see that Simon, Clary, Jace, Izzy, and Alec are all about to go look for Dot together when Clary has a vision of Dot going to Magnus' bar. The scene shifts to Dot, who comes to Magnus and sees that Magnus is sending all the warlocks to a safe location through a portal, because Valentine is looking for all the warlocks to break Jocelyn's seal. Since the warlocks activated the seal, they're the ones who can break it. Magnus offers to take Dot to a safe location with him, but Dot goes off to find Clary. Then 2 circle members attack Dot. Clary also sees this scene as a vision, so she hurries, but still doesn't get there in time, and the circle members have already taken Dot. Now they only have one option left, to bring back Clary's memories, which the Silent Brothers can do. The Silent Brothers are called the most powerful group of Shadowhunters. They live in the City of Bones, and normal Shadowhunters aren't allowed to visit them or talk to them. Plus, while the Silent Brothers can bring back memories, there's also a chance you could die in the process. Alec says they've already broken a lot of Clave rules, and he won't go to the Silent Brothers and break another rule. But Jace somehow convinces him. After this, they all head toward the City of Bones and arrive at the Silent Brothers headquarters. Alec, Izzy, and Jace go ahead to check if there's any danger, while Simon tells Clary, "Why are we trusting these people? We don't even know them." Clary explains that she needs to find her mother, and she's always felt like something was missing since childhood, but now learning about the shadow world feels right. On the other side, Alec doesn't trust Simon and Clary either. He asks why they're even helping them. Jace explains that if Valentine gets the Mortal Cup, it won't be good. Plus, Jace has started to see Clary as part of his family. Then Jace calls Simon and Clary over, saying there's no danger ahead. The scene shifts to Dot, who's in Valentine's captivity. Valentine tells Dot to free Jocelyn from the sealed spell. Dot says she didn't cast the spell. Valentine asks who did then. If she tells him who put the seal spell on Jocelyn, he'll let her go. Dot says she knows that even if she tells him, he won't let her go. So Valentine gives Dot an injection to torture her. The scene shifts to Clary, with Jace explaining that Silent Brothers can communicate through telepathy with minds. Jace tells Clary that to bring back her memories, the soul sword will be placed on her head, and if she's not strong enough, the sword will kill her. Clary says she'll do anything to save her mother. After this, Clary and Jace go inside the Silent Brothers headquarters while the others, Izzy, Simon, and Alex stay outside. The scene shifts to Luke, where he's being suspected of killing those circle members because in normal people's eyes, those circle members were just normal humans, and killing normal humans means you get punished. But Luke convinces his captain that nothing like that happened. After the captain leaves, Luke's assistant comes to him and says they need to find Clary as soon as possible. Luke assures him not to worry. He knows Clary better than anyone. The scene shifts to Clary and Jace, who have entered the Silent Brothers headquarters. We learn that this place is called the City of Bones because all the dead Shadowhunters are buried here, except circle members because they betrayed the Shadowhunters. We also learn that Jace's dad died when Jace was 10 years old, and Jace's dad used to be a circle member, which is why Jace wants revenge on Valentine and the circle. Then the Silent Brothers come to them and tell Clary to stand in a certain spot. The scene shifts to Izzy, who takes Simon to the van, but then she hears a sound and goes to check it out. She tells Simon not to get out of the van, but as soon as Izzy leaves, someone grabs Simon from behind. The scene shifts to Clary, where when the Silent Brothers place the soul sword on her, Clary remembers a memory from her past where Jocelyn is telling Luke that Clary's real father is Valentine. But then the flashback cuts off and the Silent Brothers say they can't see any more of Clary's memories. Clary is really shaken up learning about her father. The scene shifts to Dot, who's very weak and can't use her magic properly, but she still tries and somehow manages to open her cage. After getting free, she goes to Jocelyn, who's still unconscious, and tells her not to worry. Clary is okay, she's safe. But then a circle member attacks Dot, though Dot uses an injection to kill the circle member. But then Valentine shows up and tells Dot that she was right. He was never gonna let her go. And saying this, he probably kills Dot. The scene shifts to Clary, who comes out of the Silent Brothers headquarters and finds out that Simon is missing. He's disappeared. Then they go to their van and discover that Raphael, who's a vampire, has kidnapped Simon and is now demanding the Mortal Cup in exchange for Simon. Clary is angry at Izzy and Alec for leaving Simon alone. She says that with only one mortal cup, she feels she has to choose between saving her mother and saving her best friend, and either way, she loses someone she loves. Meanwhile, Simon is being held by vampires. He begs them to let him go, but their leader, Raphael, refuses and continues to scare him. Back at the Institute, Clary, Jace, Izzy, and Alec plan Simon's rescue. They know he's at the Hotel du Mort, but they can't just attack a vampire hideout without permission from the Clave. It would break the Accords, the laws that govern all supernatural beings. All non-Shadowhunter supernatural beings like vampires, werewolves, and warlocks are called downworlders. Jace argues that since the vampires broke the rules first by kidnapping Simon, the Clave will probably be angry but won't punish them too harshly for a stealth mission. Alec points out they can't take weapons from the Institute without the Clave finding out. Jace says he knows another way to get them. At the Hotel du Mort, Raphael lets Simon out of his cage to get information. The moment he gets a chance, Simon grabs a dagger and stabs Raphael, but since he's a vampire, the normal weapon doesn't hurt him. Just then, Camille, the head of the vampire clan, arrives. She seductively tastes Simon's blood. Izzy goes to meet her boyfriend, Meliorn, who is a Seelie, a type of magical being with both angel and demon blood. Seelies can't lie, but they can avoid answering questions. Izzy asks him for a way into the Hotel du Mort. Meanwhile, Alec goes back to the Institute to get his bow and arrows. Jace and Clary go to a biker bar to get a special motorcycle and wait for sunrise, when vampires are weaker. Jace warns her the bar is full of vampires. He tells her to go compliment the owner of a certain bike. When she does, the vampire uses a mind control power called Encanto on her. At the same time, Camille is using the same power on Simon, asking him about Clary and the Mortal Cup. Simon reveals that Clary doesn't have the cup and has no idea where it is. Camille realizes Magnus must have erased Clary's memories and offers Simon her blood to drink. Izzy gets the information she needs from Meliorn about how to sneak into the hotel. We see Alec enchanting his arrows with runes to make them stronger. Hodge finds him and warns him not to live in Jace's shadow, the same way Hodge once lived in Valentine's. Back at the bar, the vampire is about to lead Clary away, but Jace steps in, knocks him out, and takes the bike keys. Other vampires chase them, but Jace explains the bike isn't normal. It runs on demon energy. He makes the bike fly into the sky and they escape. Izzy and Alec meet up and start their part of the plan. Create a distraction at the hotel so Jace and Clary can get inside. Jace draws 2 runes on Clary, one to protect her from Encanto and another to make her footsteps silent. However, there's no rune to hide the smell of their blood. Jace warns her that to vampires, humans are just food. Clary worries Simon might become a vampire, but Jace reassures her it's not that simple. Izzy and Alec fight off a group of vampires sent by Camille. Meanwhile, Clary and Jace sneak in. They are found by the same vampire whose bike they stole. He tries to use Encanto on Clary again, but the rune protects her. He then tries to grab her weapon, but it burns his hand because only Shadowhunters can use their own weapons. Alec and Izzy arrive to help, but the vampire grabs Clary and tells them to drop their weapons. Seeing a chance, Alec shoots an arrow that breaks a hole in the wall, letting in a ray of sunlight that instantly kills the vampire. In another part of the hotel, Raphael tells Camille to escape, saying she must survive to lead their clan. After she leaves, the Shadowhunters arrive. Raphael leads them to the roof and gives them Simon. He says he didn't do it for them, but because Valentine getting the Mortal Cup would be bad for everyone. He also tells Jace to be careful about who his real friends are. On the roof, Clary tells Simon how happy she is that he's safe and that she couldn't live without him. Simon tells her he feels the same way. Nearby, Alec argues with Jace, telling him, "You think you know Clary, but you don't. Remember your father. He was a circle member too." Jace brushes him off. As Clary looks over at Jace, Simon notices that her heart is beating very fast. The scene shifts to Clary having a dream. In the dream, a man named Magnus is taking away her memories. Clary wakes up and sees Simon sitting in front of her. She tells him about her dream and the man named Magnus. Simon is surprised when he hears this. He tells her that when he was captured, the vampire Camille also said a man named Magnus Bane must have been the one who took Clary's memories. This is the first real clue Clary has. Thanks to Simon, she now knows she needs to find Magnus Bane. She thanks Simon and says she doesn't know what she would do without him. Then, she goes to find Jace to tell him about Magnus. After Clary leaves, Simon looks in the mirror and starts seeing things that aren't there. He sees blood dripping from his mouth and sees Camille standing behind him. The vampire's mind control power is starting to work on him. Clary finds Jace and tells him everything about Magnus. Jace tells her that Magnus is the High Warlock of Brooklyn. He explains that a High Warlock is a very powerful warlock who is the leader of the other warlocks in the area. Magnus is so strong that he could even fight the Silent Brothers if he wanted to. Jace tells Clary that if Magnus took her memories, then he is the key to solving this whole problem. Clary gets sad and says that people are dying because of her. She says that even if she gets her memories back, there is no promise that she will get her mother back. Jace tells her that getting her memories is the only way they can find the Mortal Cup. He knows it is dangerous, but he is ready to take that chance for her. Just then, Simon comes in. He tells them he is leaving the Institute. Clary tries to make him stay, but Simon says he feels like he is in a prison there. He tells Clary that they have always solved their problems together, just the two of them. He says they can solve this problem together too, without the Shadowhunters. But Clary says no. She tells him that she feels like she belongs with the Shadowhunters. After that, all the Shadowhunters have a meeting. Hodge tells them that Magnus is one of the most powerful warlocks and is more than 300 years old. Hodge says says that Magnus does not trust Shadowhunters. Clary asks, then why did he help my mother erase my memories? Hodge thinks Magnus didn't help for free. He says warlocks always want something in return for their work, so he probably took something from Clary's mother as payment. Alec then says that most warlocks are hiding because Valentine is hunting them. Clary asks how they will find Magnus if he is hiding. Jace says they won't look for him. Instead, they will make Magnus come to them. Izzy suggests having a big party, a rave for downworlders. Alec says Magnus will never come, but Izzy is sure he will because Magnus loves to party. Hodge takes them to another room and shows them a necklace. This necklace has a special power. It glows if a demon is close by. The necklace is very important to Magnus because he bought it in 1857 for his girlfriend, Camille, by selling his house. Yes, Camille and Magnus used to be in love. Because the necklace means so much to him, he might come if they use it to get his attention. Jace goes to send a magic fire message to Magnus. The story then cuts to Valentine, who is moving a prisoner. He feels that someone is watching him and knows the Clave sent Seelies to spy on him. He pushes his prisoner, a man named Pangborn, forward. Pangborn breathes out a poison gas. The gas knocks out the Seelies, but it also kills Pangborn. Valentine tells his other men that Pangborn was a good and loyal follower, but a warlock had messed with his Shadowhunter blood. Valentine tells them to gather the dead Seelies because their blood might be useful. Then, his helper tells him that he isn't doing a good job with his police officer cover story, and normal people will start to notice if he's not careful. The story goes back to Izzy. She is very excited about the party. She gives Clary a dress to wear since Clary doesn't have any party clothes. Jace comes and gives Clary a Shadowhunter sword called a Seraph Blade. He tells her she already knows how to use it. We then see Magnus, who has decided to go to the party to get the necklace. His warlock friend, Elias, tells him not to go because it is too dangerous. But Magnus says he must have that necklace. He tells the other warlocks to make their magic shields very strong while he is gone. We also learn here that most downworlders don't die from old age. They can be killed, but they don't get old and die naturally. Next, we see Alec, who is treating the party like a serious mission and is not having fun. Izzy tells him that before Clary came, their missions were always the same and boring. But since Clary arrived, things have been exciting. Alec says, no, I don't find this exciting. Valentine wants the Mortal Cup, and if he gets it, he will destroy the world. I don't know why we are helping his daughter. So no, I don't think this is exciting. Izzy asks, do you feel better now that you said all that? Alec says, yes. Izzy knew he was keeping those feelings inside, and that's not good for him. They all leave for the party. Then we see Simon get home. His mom is worried because he was gone for a whole day. She tells Simon to call her next time so she won't worry. After Simon's mom leaves, his friend Maureen tells him that she loves him. She is very nervous, and she accidentally breaks a picture frame. She cuts her hand on the glass, and some blood gets on the frame. She keeps telling him how she feels, but Simon is not listening to her words. He is just staring at the blood on the frame. When Maureen sees he is not paying attention, she leaves. After she is gone, Simon licks the blood off the picture frame. The Shadowhunters get to the party. While they are in line, Izzy says she really likes the necklace, but Alec gives it to Jace to keep it safe. They go inside and meet Magnus. Magnus is happy to see Clary. He last saw her when she was a little girl. Jace starts asking Magnus questions, but Magnus says he will only talk after they give him the necklace because he wants to make sure it's the real one. Jace gives Magnus the necklace. Magnus then says he does not have Clary's memories. To keep the memories extra safe, he fed them to a memory demon. Magnus explains that if Valentine had caught him, he would have tortured Magnus to get the memories. Clary asks, is Valentine torturing Dot? Is she okay? Magnus tells Clary that Dot is dead. Clary becomes very sad. Magnus offers to take Clary with him. He says he can protect her better than the Shadowhunters. Clary says no. Suddenly, a circle member attacks Magnus from behind, but Alec shoots the attacker with an arrow and saves Magnus. Magnus starts to run away. Clary tries to stop him, but only grabs a button from his coat. Jace takes the button, and he and Alec use their special Parabati connection to find where Magnus went. They find Magnus' hideout and see that the circle has already attacked the warlocks there. Clary sees a circle member about to attack a little girl named Zoe. Clary runs to save and protect Zoe, and Jace kills the circle member. The story switches to Magnus fighting a circle member. We learn that his friend Elias has been killed. Magnus kills the circle member. The Shadowhunters find Magnus and bring the child, Zoe, to him. Magnus tells Zoe to go to the other warlocks and thanks Clary for saving her life. Magnus agrees to help them get Clary's memories back from the demon. But since his hideout is not safe anymore, Magnus uses magic to move his whole hideout to a new place. We then see Simon trying to call Clary. When she does not pick up, Simon leaves a message. He says he does not feel good, he does not understand what is happening to his body, and he never wants to leave Clary. The story goes back to Magnus, who gives the necklace to Izzy because he thinks it looks good on her. Magnus gives Clary a book and shows her a drawing inside. He tells her it is a special drawing for calling a demon, and she needs to draw it on the floor. Jace goes to draw a rune on Clary to give her the power to draw it. Before he does, he warns her that the memory demon is a greater demon. That means this rune will be much more painful than the others. But Clary is willing to do anything for her mother. Jace draws the rune, and Clary draws the sign on the floor. Magnus tells everyone that the memory demon is very powerful, so it will want something in return for its help. Magnus calls the demon, whose name is Valak. As payment, the demon starts to take their best memory of the person they love the most. Takes a memory of Jocelyn from Clary. Takes a memory of Alec from Izzy. Takes a memory of Jace from Alec. But Alec can't handle it. He doesn't want to lose his best memory. He lets go and breaks the circle. The demon gets out of control and grabs Jace. Magnus tries to control the demon with magic, but can't hold it for long. To save Jace, Clary kills the demon. But now, Clary's memories are gone forever. Later that night, Clary is sad. Jace comes to her and says she did something amazing by killing the demon. He tells her that not many Shadowhunters can say they have killed a greater demon. Clary tries to call Simon, but the call won't go through. We see Simon standing outside the Hotel du Mort, the vampire hotel. The story goes back to Clary one last time. When she touches her locket, she sees a picture in her mind of her father, Valentine, with her mother, Jocelyn. Valentine notices Clary is watching him and speaks to her. Clary gets scared and quickly takes off the locket. After her vision, Clary tells Jace that she saw her mother and Valentine through her necklace. Alec comes in and asks what's going on. Clary explains everything to him and says she is so happy her mother is still alive. Alec asks if she knows where they are, but Clary says she didn't see enough to know the exact place. Alec decides to take the necklace and hide it in a safe. He thinks that if Clary can see Valentine through it, then Valentine might be able to see them too. He thinks the necklace is dangerous. In the next scene, Clary is sad about her necklace. Izzy comes to comfort her. She tells her that Alec is not a bad guy, he just wants to keep them safe. Clary says the necklace was a gift from her mother. She says her mom was like her best friend and gave up her whole life for her. Now, Clary is ready to risk her own life to save her from Valentine. Izzy tells her that even though the necklace is gone, they will still save her mother. Izzy's mother, Maurice, shows up at the institute. Clary says hello, but Maurice just says, yes, in Idris, we know all about you. Idris is the home country of the Shadowhunters, where their leaders, the Clave, control the shadow world. Like the Institute, it's hidden from normal people. Maurice meets with Jace and Alec and tells them that the Seelies have stopped talking to the Clave. This is probably because the Clave sent Seelie spies to watch Valentine, and as we saw, Valentine killed them. Now, the Seelies want nothing to do with the Clave. Izzy says she has Seelie friends and offers to talk to them, but Maurice says that Shadowhunters should not have relationships with Downworlders. She's worried they might make them angry and turn them against the Clave. But Izzy says she knows she can get information. Jace agrees with her, so Maurice says okay. She sends Jace and Izzy to see Miliern for information. She tells Alec to stay and watch Clary because Clary has already caused enough trouble, and Maurice wants her under control. The scene shifts to Luke. His helper tells him that some humans have been given a strange blood that makes them see the shadow world. They are now in hospitals. Luke knows this is one of Valentine's experiments. He says that Valentine's main goal is to use the Mortal Cup to make an army and destroy the shadow world. Luke says they need to find Clary right away and tells his helper to start looking for her. The scene moves to Clary, who is drawing a picture of Valentine to let out her anger. Then we see Alec feeling strange. When the memory demon took their memories before, Alec lost his memories of Jace. This makes him feel empty, but Jace thinks it feels normal. Since they are parabatai, like brothers, Jace thinks they will always love each other no matter what. Jace tells Alec to watch Clary while he goes out. We then see Simon go to the Hotel du Mort because his body feels weird, but the vampire Raphael scares him away. Back at the Institute, Alec is training Clary. Clary says they need to find Valentine and save her mom. Alec asks, do you think we aren't trying? Clary has another idea. There is a box at her house. She doesn't know what is inside, but her mother used to cry when she looked at it, so she thinks it has something to do with Valentine. She thinks if they get it, it might give them a clue clue. Alec says she can't go. Just then, Magnus calls Alec to ask him out for a drink. Clary uses this chance to sneak out. When Alec sees she's gone, he looks all over the institute but can't find her. The scene changes to Luke's helper arriving at the werewolf hideout. A pack is a family of werewolves. The leader of the pack, the Alpha, is not happy that the Clave's rules are not fair to downworlders. He wants the Mortal Cup so he can take over the Shadow World. He tells all the werewolves to hunt down Clary to get the cup. Alec finally finds Clary. Simon calls Clary, worried about her, and asks where she is. Clary says she is going home to find something. Simon says it is not safe and that he is going with her. He tells her to meet him there and hangs up. As Clary and Alec start walking, Clary says to Alec, "I know you're always in a bad mood because you're in love with Jace, but Jace is straight." Alec snaps back, "Are you crazy? I'm not in love with Jace. You are in love with Jace. I am his parabatai." The scene cuts to Meliorn, where Izzy and Jace have arrived. Jace starts looking around. The scene then goes to Valentine. He brings in prisoners and promises them a new life. He draws a circle rune on one prisoner and gives him Seelie blood. He says that if the human is strong enough, he will be able to see the Shadow World. If he is weak, he will die. Clary and Alec meet up with Simon. As the three of them walk to Clary's house, we see that Simon can move very fast and easily. When they get there, Clary's house looks different to them because Clary can now see all the runes. The surprising thing is Simon can see the runes too. Alec asks him how he can see them, but Simon doesn't know. Clary tries to open the door but can't. Simon tries and opens it easily, showing he is much stronger now. Inside, they look for the box but can't find it at first. Simon feels that something is under the floor. When they check, they find the box. Alec hears a noise outside and goes to check. He sees a werewolf and tries to attack it, but the werewolf gets away. While Alec is busy, police officers arrest Simon and Clary, but we know these are really werewolves taking them to get the Mortal Cup. The scene changes to Jace. He knows the Seelies are sad because there are butterflies around, which is a sign of Seelie sadness. They are sad because the spies sent to watch Valentine are dead. That is why the Seelie Queen stopped talking to the Clave. Jace and Izzy ask Meliorn for help, but Meliorn says no because the Clave does not protect everyone equally. After Meliorn leaves, Jace gets a text from Alec that says Clary ran away. Jace and Izzy rush to Alec. Alec explains he tried to watch her, but Jace won't listen and blames Alec for everything. Meanwhile, Simon and Clary are taken to a Chinese restaurant called the Jade Wolf. They know their kidnappers are not real police. Back with the Shadowhunters, Jace and Alec try to track them with their Parabatai bond, but it doesn't work. Izzy finds out that Simon and Clary were never taken to the real police station. Jace gets angry at Alec for not protecting Clary and says Maurice was right and Alec is getting weak. They start fighting, but Izzy stops them. At the restaurant, the werewolves demand the Mortal Cup. Clary says she doesn't know where it is. The Alpha threatens to kill Simon if she doesn't tell them. Clary lies and says the cup might be in the box back at her apartment. The Alpha sends some wolves to check. While the wolves are busy, Simon breaks his handcuffs. He uses his phone to call Clary's phone, which she left at the apartment. Jace answers. Simon tells him they are being held by werewolves at a restaurant. Jace tells him to start a fire to distract them while they come to save them. Simon starts a fire and the wolves run around in confusion. The Alpha takes Clary to a safe spot, but Luke shows up. Clary doesn't trust Luke because she saw him talking to Circle members before, but Luke doesn't have time to explain. He tries to get her out, but Jace and Alec arrive and take Clary from him. Izzy saves Simon. The group is all back together, but they are quickly surrounded by werewolves. The Alpha gets ready to attack them, but another werewolf jumps in and kills the Alpha. This werewolf changes back into a human, and it is Luke. The other wolves change back and bow to Luke because, by killing the Alpha, Luke has become the new leader of the pack. Luke tells Clary he promised her mother, Jocelyn, that he would always keep her safe. Luke then falls down because he is badly hurt. Jace tells Alec and Izzy to go back to the Institute, while he and Clary take Luke to Magnus Bane, because only a warlock can heal his wounds. Jace and Clary bring the hurt Luke to Magnus Bane's place. While Magnus is helping him, Luke sees a vision of Jocelyn. She tells him to tell Clary everything about their past so she can find the Mortal Cup. When Luke wakes up, Magnus tells him that he was bitten by an alpha werewolf, and the bite has a strong poison in it. At the Institute, Izzy tells her mother, Maurice, that the Seelies know Valentine killed their spies and have stopped talking to the Clave. Izzy warns her that the Seelies are practical. They will just pick the side that's going to win the war, Valentine or the Clave. The scene changes to Clary, who is worried about Luke. Simon comes to make her feel better. Clary tells him that even though Luke is not her real father, he is just like a father to her. She says she shouldn't have thought thought bad things about him. Then Magnus tells them that he has stopped the change for now. But to cure the poison in Luke's body, he needs to make a medicine quickly. But Magnus doesn't have all the things he needs to make it. Jace and Simon leave to get the ingredients. Before they go, Magnus asks Jace to tell Alec to come here because Magnus needs Alec's help. Jace is not sure if he should call Alec, but Clary tells him that he shouldn't be angry at Alec anymore. After Simon and Jace leave, the scene changes to Izzy, who is telling Alec the same thing. He shouldn't be angry at Jace anymore and should talk to him. Just then, their dad, Robert, shows up with their youngest brother. Max, Alec, and Izzy are happy to see Max and talk with him for a bit. Then Robert sends Max to his room to study and asks Izzy and Alec where Clary is. Alec says Clary is with Jace. Robert says Clary has already made a lot of problems for them, so they need to bring her back and keep her at the institute. Then Alec calls Jace and tells him to come back. But Jace tells Alec to come there instead because Magnus needs him to save Luke's life. Alec says no at first because he doesn't want to be involved with Downworlders anymore. But Jace tells Alec that they are Parabatai and says he knows Alec will do the right thing, then hangs up. The scene changes to Magnus making the medicine. Clary tells him she doesn't think she can do this anymore because she is just an art student who draws monsters, not someone who fights them. Magnus tells her not to think like that and that Clary is more powerful than she knows. Then Luke starts screaming in pain because of the poison. Magnus is about to use magic to make him pass out, but Luke tells him that Magnus must tell Clary everything. Magnus agrees and puts Luke to sleep so he doesn't feel the pain. The scene changes to Jace and Simon. Jace tells Simon that he will never be more than a best friend to Clary. Simon says back that he doesn't want to be anything more than a best friend and says there are lots of girls who like him. Jace asks, where are those girls? Simon then says that he and Clary have always been together and helped each other since they were kids, not like Jace and Alec. When Jace hears this, he gets very angry and says Simon knows nothing about his relationship with Alec. Simon gets very angry at Jace and holds a knife to his neck. He feels that Jace can say whatever he wants about him and Clary, but he can't talk about Jace and Alec. Jace easily gets free from Simon and asks him if the vampires did something to him. Simon says no. The scene changes to Maurice, who is crying. Alec comes to her and asks why she is crying. Maurice says nothing can be done about it now. Alec reminds her of something from the past and says that there is always something that can be done. She just needs to tell him what to do. The scene changes to Clary, who is sad and worried. Magnus gives her a sketchbook so she can draw and calm her mind. Clary says drawing used to be her whole life, but now she feels like she has forgotten how. Magnus tells her that isn't true and she is still the same person. Then Magnus starts telling Clary about Jocelyn and Valentine's past. He explains that Jocelyn and Valentine used to be a team. At first, they were very good Shadowhunters that others looked up to. But as time went on, Valentine started to want to kill Downworlders and make more Shadowhunters. He started thinking that since Downworlders are half demon and not fully pure, they didn't deserve to live. Clary says that doesn't make sense. Magnus says that crazy people don't make sense. They just hate. He says her father, Valentine, hated Downworlders because they had powers he didn't have. The scene changes to Izzy, who sees her parents talking and asks what they are talking about. Maurice says Izzy doesn't need to know and walks away. Robert talks to Izzy and says the reason they came home early was to see her. He is doing the nice father-daughter talk, but Izzy wants to know what he and Maurice were talking about. Robert explains that by not following Clave orders, helping Clary, and going on missions for her, they have ruined the family's name. And since the Lightwood family is one of the best families in the Shadow World, they need to fix their name by having Alec marry someone from another powerful family. The scene changes to Clary, where Magnus explains that when Valentine first started killing Downworlders, he told the Clave that the people he killed had broken the rules. That's why the Clave didn't stop Valentine at first. And now the Clave is making the same mistake again by not taking Valentine seriously. Clary asks how her mother Jocelyn and Luke were a part of that. Magnus explains that Valentine got the Mortal Cup, but it was Luke and Jocelyn who beat him, so his plan failed. Clary asks how knowing all this helps her find the Mortal Cup. Magnus says that if she understands her mother better, she might figure out where she hid it. While they are talking, Luke starts talking in his sleep from a bad dream, so Magnus uses magic to calm him down. The scene changes to Izzy, who tells Alec that their parents are having him marry someone from a powerful family for political reasons, and they are making her a diplomat to fix things between the Seelies and the Clave. Alec gets very angry when he hears this and says he always followed the rules, but now this is happening to him, so he won't care about the rules anymore. After saying this, he leaves to go to Magnus. The scene changes, and we see Jace and Simon get to the place to get the ingredients. Jace goes inside to get the ingredient and tells Simon to wait outside. When Simon is outside, he starts seeing a vision of Camille. When he follows the vision, Camille suddenly disappears, and Simon sees his own dead body. Then Jace comes out with the ingredients and takes Simon with him. The scene changes to Magnus, who is running out of magic energy while healing Luke. Just then, Alec arrives and gives Magnus his magic energy. Then Jace and Simon come back with the ingredients. Clary puts the ingredients into the medicine to finish it and gives it to Luke, which cures him. The scene changes to Izzy, who is trying to talk her mother Maurice out of making Alec get married. But Maurice says they have to do it if they want to fix the family name. The scene changes to Clary, who thanks Alec for coming, which saved Luke's life. Alec says it's no problem. Then Jace comes, and the problems between Jace and Alec are fixed. Clary thanks Jace, and Jace says he will always help her. Simon comes and tells Clary that Luke is calling for her. Clary thanks Simon for helping save Luke and leaves. After Clary leaves, Simon also walks away. The scene changes to Izzy, who is teaching Max about different runes. Maurice comes, sends Max to his room, and says sorry to Izzy for being so mean earlier. She explains she just wants to protect the family. The scene changes to Clary, who comes to Luke. Luke starts telling her the truth. He explains that when Valentine started turning evil, Jocelyn and Luke tried to talk to him, but the more they tried, the more he pushed them away. And the more he pushed them away, the closer Jocelyn and Luke became. Jocelyn and Luke knew it was wrong, but they couldn't stop the fact that they had fallen in love. Valentine found out about this, which made him even more hateful. He wanted to make himself stronger, so he started doing experiments with downworlder blood. Once he did that, he could never go back to being normal. In the end, their love just made him worse. Luke tells Clary that before he became evil, Valentine was a very charming and inspiring leader. Then Luke explains that Valentine's plan was to use the Mortal Cup to make more Shadowhunters. Since the angel Raziel made the first Shadowhunter using the cup, making new ones with it has not been allowed. Now, Shadowhunters are only born into Shadowhunter families. But Valentine didn't think this was right because demons kill Shadowhunters and there are very few of them left, so he wanted to make new ones using the cup. Luke also tells Clary that her mother Jocelyn was an artist just like her. Even after learning all this, Clary still doesn't understand where her mother hid the Mortal Cup. The scene changes to Izzy, who is sending a fire message to Miliorn. It says, "I am sorry, but I can't see you anymore." Then Izzy gets ready for something. The scene changes to Magnus, who tells Alec that for 100 years he hasn't felt anything for any man or woman, but Alec has made him feel something. Magnus is saying all this when Alec gets a call. He is not sure what to do and tells Magnus he has to leave. The scene changes to Clary, who asks Luke about that specific box. At first, Luke doesn't tell her, but when Clary makes him, Luke says that the box belonged to Clary's brother, Jonathan Christopher, who died in a fire started by Valentine. When Clary hears this, she gets sad. She puts the box on a piece of paper, and when she touches it, the box turns into a drawing inside the paper. If you remember, we saw this power of Clary's in the first episode. Now Clary asks Luke if every Shadowhunter has this power. Luke explains that some Shadowhunters have special angel powers. After this, Clary says that now she might know where her mother hid the Mortal Cup. Clary figures out that if she can turn things into drawings, her mother probably could too. She thinks Jocelyn must have hidden the Mortal Cup inside one of her tarot cards by turning it into the drawing of a cup. Luke says he has the tarot cards. He brought them to the police station to keep them safe when Clary was missing. Clary wants to go get them now, but Luke says it's too dangerous. Valentine has spies everywhere, and Luke is not fully healed yet. They decide to wait until the next day. The next morning, we see that Simon has slept with Maureen. He is upset about Clary and the strange things happening to his body, and he just acted without thinking. Maureen is happy and thinks they are finally a couple, but Simon starts to see a picture of Clary in his mind and freaks out. He tries to leave, telling Maureen it was important, but he can't explain what is really going on. He runs out, leaving her sad and confused again. Later, Luke, Clary, and Jace get to the police station. Luke tells the others to wait outside so no one gets suspicious. But when Luke gets to his office, a police officer from Internal Affairs named Fisk is there and arrests him. From outside, Clary and Jace see this happen and decide to go inside themselves. Back at the Institute, Izzy is packing up all the things Miliorn gave her. Her father, Robert, is calling for Alec, who hasn't sent his report about demon activity to the Clave yet. Izzy tells him not to worry and that she will do it. At the station, Luke is being questioned. They They think he is the main person who killed the Circle members who looked like normal humans. Luke won't answer any questions and asks for his lawyer. When Fisk leaves, Clary and Jace use their invisibility runes to sneak into the room. Luke tells them they need to get the cards from his desk, but to be careful because Valentine spies are everywhere. Alec comes back to the Institute after spending the night at Magnus' place. He doesn't want to tell Izzy where he was, but after she tells him she broke up with Meliorn, he says he's sorry for being secretive and promises to be more open with her. Jace and Clary make a plan to get the cards. Clary makes a loud scene in the police station, pretending to break up with Jace. While everyone is distracted, she gets to Luke's desk, but it's empty. Luke's captain comes and tells her that internal affairs took all of Luke's things. Meanwhile, Simon is looking online to find out what happens when a person turns into a vampire. To test it, he orders food with a lot of garlic. After one bite, he starts coughing up blood. This confirms what he was afraid of. He's turning into a vampire. Back at the station, Luke's captain asks Fisk for a list of Luke's things, but he says no. As they walk outside, a dog barks angrily at the captain. Later, Alec and Izzy show up to help Jace and Clary make a new plan. Simon calls Clary to tell her what's happening to him, but Jace hangs up on him, saying they have bigger problems. Luke is let out of jail for a little while. He goes to his captain's office but finds her dead body. Fisk now knows Luke is not guilty and asks for his help, but Luke says the truth is too much for him to understand. Luke's werewolf helper, Alaric, looks at the body and says a shape-shifting demon killed the real captain and took her place. That's why the dog was barking at her. Luke tells Alaric to have the whole pack search for the demon. At Simon's house, his mother and sister talk to him. Maureen told them she thinks he is on drugs. Simon says that's not true, he's just very sick. The stress from their yelling makes him get angry and break a table with his new strength. Jace and Clary have a new plan. In the police station elevator, Jace draws a night vision rune on Clary. To distract everyone, Alec flirts with the front desk lady, while Izzy steals her ID card. Izzy then uses the card to shut off the power for the whole station, which causes a lot of confusion. During the power outage, Clary and Jace find Luke's things and get the tarot cards. Clary tries to pull the mortal cup from the card, but she can't. As they meet up with Alec and Izzy, Izzy's demon-finding necklace starts to glow. They run for the Institute, but a demon attacks Clary. Jace saves her, but then they are surrounded by more demons. Alec stays behind to fight them so the others can get away. While this is happening, Simon tries to call Clary again. When she doesn't answer, he leaves a voicemail telling her he thinks he's becoming a vampire. He then sees another vision and smashes a mirror. While running, Clary thanks Jace for all his help. Izzy warns them that demons are close, but they can't see them. Suddenly, a demon attacks from above. Jace kills it, but more show up. He and Izzy tell Clary to run to the Institute while they fight them off. Clary runs, but is stopped by one last demon. She holds the tarot card tight, focuses all her energy, and this time she pulls the real mortal cup out of the drawing. She uses its power, and the demon disappears into dust. A shape-shifting demon changes to look like Jace and walks up to her, but Clary knows it's a trick. She knows how the real Jace acts, so she knows this is a fake and kills it. Back at the Institute, she tells Jace what happened. He says she knew it was a fake because she's a Shadowhunter, but Clary tells him, "No, it's because I know you." Then they kiss. A sad Alec sees them from far away and walks away. Simon going to Camille's place. He asks her if he is really turning into a vampire. She says yes, but that it would have gone away if he had just waited. But since he came to her, she attacks him to finish turning him into a vampire. Clary turns the mortal cup back into a drawing on the tarot card. Alec and Izzy say they should give it to the Clave to keep it safe, but Clary says no. She says it's the only thing they have to trade to get her mother back. Jace agrees with her, and Clary promises she won't let Valentine get it. Alec is not happy about it, but he takes the card and hides it in a safe. Suddenly, the Institute's alarm goes off, telling them someone is inside. They run out and find Raphael standing there, holding Simon's dead body. He explains that Camille killed Simon and that he doesn't want any trouble. He could have just hidden the body, but he brought it to them instead. Clary is heartbroken. Raphael tells her there is a way to bring Simon back, by turning him into a vampire. He gives her until tonight to decide what to do. At the same time, Valentine finds out that Clary has the mortal cup but is being protected by Luke. He orders his men to attack Luke. At the Institute, Robert and Maurice tell Alec and Izzy that the Clave is sending someone to look into all the missions they went on without permission and to get information on Valentine. They tell their children to be on their best behavior. Later, Alec is talking with his brother Max when Valentine appears. Alec shoots an arrow, but the person catches it. It's not Valentine. It's the person sent by the Clave, a woman named Lydia Branwell. She was testing to see if they were ready. She tells them that she is now in charge of the Institute for a while. At the Jade Wolf, Valentine's men let out 2 zombie-like creatures to attack Luke and his pack. These were humans that Valentine did experiments on. Jace and Clary go to Simon's house to tell his mother that he died, but Clary can't make herself do it. Simon's mother says he ran away last night and she's worried he's on drugs. Back at the Institute, they find out about the attack on Luke. Lydia and Alec go to see what happened. Jace tells Clary she needs to control her feelings, because feelings are a weakness for a Shadowhunter. Clary says back that if being a Shadowhunter means she has to be dead inside, she doesn't want to be one. At the place of the attack, Lydia tells Alec that she was once pushed to marry someone for power, but she chose to marry for love instead. Her husband died, and it broke her heart. She tells Alec to follow his own heart. They find Luke and see the dead zombie creature. They are confused because they have never seen anything like it before. It was incredibly strong, requiring 5 werewolves to take it down. Lydia orders the creature to be taken to the Institute for forensic study. She asks Luke why it attacked him. Luke suggests Valentine might want him dead, or maybe he wants to wipe out all former Circle members as revenge for betraying him. Through this conversation, Alec learns from Lydia that his parents were also former Circle members. At the Institute, the creature is brought in. Lydia says they need a warlock to study it and suggests calling Magnus since he is nearby. Lydia apologizes to Alec for revealing his parents' secret. Alec says it's not her fault, but his parents' fault for hiding it. Lydia tries to defend them, saying they were just trying to protect him, but Alec ignores her and walks away. Clary and Jace arrive to see Luke. Seeing his injuries, they ask what happened, and Luke explains the attack. He then asks why they are there, and Clary tells him Simon is dead. Back at the Institute, Magnus has nearly finished his magical analysis of the creature. Izzy mentions that Alec is getting married, which breaks Magnus' heart. He leaves the room, and Izzy takes over the research. Clary asks Luke what she should do. Should she turn Simon into a vampire? Luke tells her about his own past. He explains he wasn't always a werewolf. He was bitten on a mission. When he started turning, he asked Jocelyn to kill him, but she refused, and he didn't kill himself either. Eventually, he found hope, but the path was incredibly difficult, and he lost his whole family. He advises Clary to accept Raphael's offer only if she truly believes it is the right thing for Simon. Not for herself, but for him. She has to decide if it's better for Simon to die as a human or live as a vampire. Magnus finds Alec. Alec complains that he did everything his parents and the Clave asked, but got nothing in return. Magnus advises him to finally do what he wants to do. Clary decides to resurrect Simon as a vampire. She goes to the graveyard, but Camille arrives and demands they hand over Simon's body. When they refuse, Camille calls her followers to attack. However, Raphael has already turned the vampires against Camille because she broke the accords. The vampires attack Camille instead, and she is presumably killed, though we don't see a body, so she might not be dead. Back at the Institute, Lydia informs Robert and Maurice that the Clave has ordered their permanent removal as heads of the Institute. Robert argues that the Clave is wrong because at least they are trying to fight Valentine, unlike the Clave. Lydia says she can't do anything about orders. Alec overhears this. He enters the room and hands the research file on the zombie creature to his mother, Maurice, instead of Lydia. Clary, Jace, and Raphael begin the ritual to turn Simon into a vampire. Meanwhile, Alec goes to Lydia. He tells her he knows the laws are tough, but he thinks he should listen to his own heart. He suggests that since their families have been strong allies, they can use that to their advantage. They can restore his family's reputation and run the Institute together. He then asks, Lydia Branwell, will you marry me? The vampire ritual is successful, and Simon wakes up, alive again, but as a vampire. New vampires are incredibly hungry, so Raphael gives Simon several packets of blood to drink. At the Institute, Izzy discovers through her research that the zombie creature has angel blood in it. Elsewhere in the Institute, Hodge is training when another zombie creature attacks him. The creature starts overpowering Hodge, but Alec arrives just in time to help. Together, they defeat it. Simon is confused and asks Clary what is happening. Clary tells him he died and is now a vampire. Seeing blood on his mouth and the packets around him, Simon starts panicking. Clary tries to reassure him that he is still the same Simon, her best friend. But Simon doesn't listen. He calls himself a monster and runs away in distress. Raphael tells Jace and Clary not to worry, promising to look after him. Raphael leaves, and Clary is left wondering if she made the right choice. After this, we see Simon running away. Raphael catches up to him. Simon calls Raphael a monster and blames him for turning him into a monster too. Raphael tries to tell him that what's happened has happened, and he needs to come to the Hotel Dumort. He says it is Simon's new home now, and he can teach him how to be a vampire. But Simon won't listen. He attacks Raphael and runs away. Clary and Jace get there, and Raphael tells them Simon ran off. He asks them to call him if they find Simon because they will need his help. Jace tries to call Alec for help, but Izzy answers the phone. She tells him that Alec is hurt because one of the zombie-like creatures with angel blood attacked the Institute and got past their defenses. defenses. She tells Jace she needs him at the Institute. Jace goes there, and Clary goes to Luke for help finding Simon. Back at the Institute, Magnus is making the magic protection stronger. He offers to heal Alec's injuries, but Alec says no. You can tell there is something between them. Magnus likes Alec, but Alec can't really like him back because of his family's duties. After Alec leaves, Milian shows up because Lydia, the person in charge of the Institute, told him to come so she could ask him some questions. But as soon as he gets there, Lydia arrests him. Since the creature that attacked had angel blood, the Clave thinks the Seelies are working with Valentine and giving him their blood to make these forsaken zombie creatures. Izzy tries to tell Lydia that maybe Valentine killed Seelie spies to get their blood, but Lydia says she is just following orders. Meanwhile, Clary finds Luke and tells him what's going on with Simon. Back at the Institute, Alec tells Izzy that Lydia did the right thing. When Jace gets there, Alec tells him that their parents used to be in the Circle, which is why they lost their jobs as leaders. Jace and Izzy are shocked, but say they still trust their parents. Lydia comes over and tries to be nice to Jace, but he is cold to her. Then, she tells them a huge secret. She and Alec are getting married. Jace and Izzy are very angry with Alec because they know he is doing it for his family, not because he is in love. Simon makes it back to his house, and his mother is so happy to see him. But Simon feels a very strong need to bite her. Clary gets there just in time to stop him. She tries to take Simon with her, but his mother won't let him go. After some talking, Simon finally agrees to leave with Clary, and his mother asks Clary to take care of him. Back at the Institute, Robert tells Alec he hid the truth about the Circle to help Alec be a better person. Alec says he will fix the family name, but he will do it his own way. Simon tells Clary he feels like a monster because he almost bit his mother. He's scared of what he might do to Clary. Clary tells him he is just hungry and will feel normal after he eats. Simon sadly accepts that this is his life now. Clary explains that she had two choices: let him die or bring him back as a vampire. She chose to save him because she couldn't lose him. Simon is angry that she made that choice for him. At the Institute, Lydia questions Milian. He tells her that Clary has the Mortal Cup. Lydia orders everyone to search for it. Alec tells Jace to give it to her, but Jace lies and says he is going to find Clary. Instead, Jace sends Clary a picture of a special rune that will hide where she is from the Clave. Clary goes to Raphael to be safe. He lets her and Simon in but makes Luke stay outside because vampires and werewolves don't get along. The Clave orders Milian to be taken to the Silent Brothers so they can get more information from him. Izzy and Jace say he is innocent, but Lydia says Seelies are very good at hiding the truth. Jace and Izzy ask Magnus to help them steal Alec's steel, so they can open his locker and take the Mortal Cup before the Clave finds it. Magnus doesn't want to, but he agrees. Back at the hotel, Raphael locks Clary and Simon in a room. Simon is fighting the need to drink Clary's blood. He calls for Raphael, who gives him blood to drink. Simon finally eats and feels better. Magnus uses his magic to send Alec's steel to Jace. Jace uses it to open the locker and get the Mortal Cup and Clary's necklace. Then Magnus sends the steel back. Later, Alec tells Magnus he is marrying Lydia. Magnus is heartbroken and walks away. As Jace and Izzy try to leave the Institute, Hodge stops them but lets them go. Alec asks Lydia if sending Milian to the Silent Brothers is the only way. She tells him a story about her husband who died and says they have to think with their heads, not their hearts. Alec agrees. Clary and Simon talk, and Simon says his hunger is gone. Clary explains she turned him because her world had changed and she wanted him to be part of it so they could stay best friends. She asks if he hates her. Simon says he is angry, but he could never hate her. Raphael then brings Jace and Izzy to them. They explain that the Silent Brothers' methods could kill Milian, so they need to save him. Luke offers to have his pack help, but they need more people. Clary asks Raphael for help. He says no until Simon promises to join his group of vampires if he helps. Raphael agrees, and they all get ready to save Milian. Jace tells everyone the plan. A werewolf shoves Simon, which makes everyone tense, but Luke and Clary calm them down. Jace gives the Mortal Cup and the necklace back to Clary. They go to set up the trap. Luke's pack creates a distraction for Alec's guards, while Alec takes Milian to the City of Bones entrance by himself. The vampires then attack the other guards. Alec and Milian get to the entrance. Jace and Clary stop Alec. They tell him the Clave is wrong and Milian is innocent. When Alec won't let him go, Jace attacks him. He tells Clary and Milian to run. They get away while Jace and Alec fight. Jace beats Alec and holds a blade to his neck. Jace tells Alec to kill him if they are really on different sides. Alec can't do it. Jace begs Alec to join them against Valentine, but Alec says he won't be a traitor. Jace leaves, very upset. Later, Clary and Jace leave the hotel, and Simon stays behind to start his new life as a vampire. Milian thanks Izzy for saving him, and she goes back to the Institute to keep an eye on things. Before Milian goes into hiding, he tells Clary that because she brought all the downworlders together to save him, he will do something for her. He knows how to find Valentine. After this, we see Meliorn take Jace and Clary to the Seelie Glade. This is a very important place for Seelies where different worlds connect. Only Seelies know about this place. The Clave doesn't even know it exists. Meliorn brought them here because he owes Clary for saving his life. If the Seelie Queen finds out he told this secret to Shadowhunters, he could be killed. Meliorn explains that Clary's necklace is a piece of a portal from another world. Normal portals can only take you to places you've been before, but this one can take you anywhere you think of. His plan is to send Clary to another world. If she finds the portal in that world, she can use it to get to her father, Valentine. Meliorn warns Clary that when she goes to the other world, she will take over the body of the other Clary. She will start to think and feel like her, and if she doesn't come back fast, she could be stuck there forever. He tells her to find something or someone to remind her of her real life. Back at the Institute, Izzy gets there, and Alec asks where she was. She doesn't give a clear answer. Alec warns her that he can't protect her if she doesn't tell him the truth. A Shadowhunter named Raj tells Lydia how they were attacked and how Meliorn was taken. Somewhere else, Luke and Elric talk about how much danger they are in because of Valentine. Simon shows up, which makes the other wolves upset, but he explains that Raphael sent him to make peace between vampires and werewolves. Simon then asks Luke for advice on how to control his new vampire needs. Clary gives the mortal cup to Jace to keep it safe. Meliorn opens the door to the other world. Clary steps through and finds herself in a world where her parents are happy and together. She starts to get lost in this perfect life, but then she sees Magnus Bane on TV working as a therapist. This reminds her of her mission, and she gets up from the table. Back in the real world, Lydia arrests Izzy for treason because she helped Meliorn escape. In the other world, Clary meets her friends, but they are very different. She learns there is a party at the Institute and that she and Jace are a couple in this world. In the real world, Luke tells Simon not to go home until he can control his hunger. A police officer named Fisk shows up to arrest Luke. Simon gets angry and attacks him, but Luke knocks Fisk out to save him. Luke tells Simon what's going on. Meliorn and Jace see that demons are trying to get through the portal. They want to get into the peaceful otherworld where there are no demons. They get ready to fight them. Inside the other world, Clary goes to Magnus for help. He doesn't believe he is a warlock because magic isn't active in this world, but Clary talks him into trying to wake up his powers. In the real world, Alec tries to make a deal with Lydia to trade the mortal cup for Izzy's freedom. But when he opens his locker, the cup is gone because Jace took it. In the other world, Magnus is trying to use his magic. After he touches Clary's necklace, he feels that the portal is in the Institute's basement. Clary tells him to meet her at the party there. Back in the real world, Alec knows Jace has the cup. He decides to track Jace using their parabati bond. Even though Izzy warns him it could break their connection and cause him a lot of pain. Simon and Luke make a plan to prove Luke is innocent. Simon pretends to be a demonic murderer who did all the recent killings. Luke shoots and kills Simon in front of Officer Fisk. Since Simon is a vampire, he's fine, but Fisk thinks the killer is gone. In the other world, Clary goes to the party and starts dancing with Jace. She gets so lost in the moment that she starts to forget her real self again. In the real world, Alex starts the tracking spell. It causes him a lot of pain, and Jace feels it too. Because Jace is distracted by the pain while fighting, a demon gets past him and goes through the portal into the other world. Inside the other world, Magnus finds Clary, but she doesn't remember him. He helps her remember just in time. As they go to the basement, the other Jace sees them and thinks Clary is cheating on him. Back in the real world, Fisk thanks Luke and leaves. Simon stops pretending to be dead, and the wolf pack thanks him for his help. In the other world's basement, Jace argues with Clary, but the demon from the real world attacks. Clary and Jace run. In the real world, Jace wakes up. Meliorn tells him the door must be closed before more demons get through, but Jace won't leave Clary. He jumps into the portal. The real Jace enters the body of the other Jace. Clary knows it is really him. In the real world, Alec and Lydia get to the Seelie Glade, but Jace, Meliorn, and the portal are gone. Inside the other world, Jace and Clary fight the demon. They beat it, but Jace is poisoned and weak. Magnus finds the portal, and Clary tells him to close it after they leave, so no monsters can get into this peaceful world. Alec goes back to the Institute and tells Izzy he didn't find Jace or the cup. Izzy comforts him, knowing he did his best to save her. Finally, Clary and Jace go through the portal to Valentine's hideout. They don't find Valentine or Clary's mother, but they do find Jace's father, Michael Wayland. Jace is very happy to finally meet his father, Michael Wayland. He is also surprised he is alive. Michael tells him that Valentine kept him as a prisoner for 10 years. Michael says hello to Clary, and she says hello back. Then, Michael tells them that Valentine has already left and took Clary's mother, Jocelyn, with him. Since Jace was poisoned by a demon, he starts to feel a lot of pain. Michael and Clary help him leave. To help Jace keep going, Michael reminds him of the first demon he ever killed. Later, we see Luke teaching Simon how to eat meat. Suddenly, Michael and Clary show up with the hurt Jace. Luke and Simon are shocked to see Michael because they thought he was dead too. Clary explains that they didn't find Valentine, but they found Jace's father. Clary then asks Simon for help because Jace needs blood to get better. At the Hotel Dumort, Clary and Simon wait for Raphael. Taking human blood without the leader's permission is against the rules. Raphael shows up and says no, but Clary and Simon have a secret on him. They threaten to tell everyone that Raphael broke the rules by turning Simon into a vampire. Raphael finally agrees and gives them O-positive blood, which works for everyone. Before they leave, Raphael tells them he has made Simon his personal helper. Clary thanks them and leaves with the blood. Back at the Institute, Lydia tells Alec that Izzy's trial for treason is in a few hours because a very important judge, the Inquisitor, has arrived. Alec tries to get more time, saying that Jace and Clary were also part of freeing Miliern, but the Inquisitor stops him. She thinks Izzy and her friends are fighting against the Clave just like Valentine did years ago. She tells Lydia to prove she is loyal during the trial. Lydia tries to say good things about Izzy, but the Inquisitor is very strict and sets the trial for that night. Michael tells Clary that Jace will get better thanks to the blood she brought. He also tells Clary that she is a lot like her mother. Clary then goes to see Jace, who is feeling better. She tells him about the other world where they were a couple, and they have a romantic moment. Later, Michael, Luke, Clary, and Jace get together to make a plan. Michael says that while he was a prisoner, Valentine did experiments on him with downworlder blood, which made his hearing better. Because of this, he heard Valentine planning to move to an old hospital called Renwick's, which is right near the Institute. Valentine thinks the Clave would never look for him so close to them. Jace wants to attack right away, but Michael says they need a plan and that Jace needs to rest. Clary and Luke go to check out the hospital first. At the Institute, Izzy tells Alex she refuses to live in a world with bad rules and doesn't mind losing her powers. Alex says no to this and asks Magnus to be Izzy's lawyer. Magnus agrees but asks for something in return. He wants to be with Alec. Alec says no, so Magnus asks for his bow and arrow instead. Alec agrees to give it to him. While checking out Valentine's new hideout, Clary talks to Luke and starts to think something is strange about Michael. Back at the other place, Michael is training Jace. He tells his son that being around Clary makes him weak, but he won't stop him because he wants Jace to be happy. The trial starts. Magnus defends Izzy. He says that she broke the rules, but she did it to help the Clave by stopping a war with the Sealies. The Inquisitor doesn't care. She just wants the mortal cup back. Clary and Luke come back and say the hospital is full of demons. Jace says attacking would be a very bad idea. Clary suggests using the mortal cup to control the demons. Michael says that's a bad idea because it's what Valentine wants, but Clary wants to do her plan. Back in court, Izzy tries to take all the blame to protect her friends. Lydia actually stands up for Izzy, which surprises everyone. But the Inquisitor gives them one last chance. If the mortal cup is not returned in 24 hours, Izzy will be kicked out and have her runes taken away. Luke, Jace, and Michael get to the hospital and fight Valentine's guards. Clary sneaks inside to find her mother. Luke stays behind to fight a strong bad guy while Jace and Michael go inside. Clary finds Jocelyn, and Jace and Michael come to her. Clary tries to use the mortal cup to control the demons, but it doesn't work. Michael asks her to give him the cup so he can try. As soon as Clary gives it to him, Michael shows his true self. It was Valentine in a disguise the whole time. Valentine tries to use the cup to make the demons attack Jace and Clary, but nothing happens. Clary says she tricked him. She used her powers to turn a normal cup into a fake one, and she still has the real mortal cup. Jace is very angry and wants to kill Valentine for killing his father. But Valentine reveals another big secret. Michael Wayland was just a trick. Valentine is Jace's real father. Then he tells them the biggest secret of all. Jace and Clary are brother and sister. Jace is too shocked to kill him. Valentine asks them to join him so they can be a family, but they say no. Valentine escapes through a portal. Luke arrives, and they take the unconscious Jocelyn back to the Institute. They give the mortal cup to Lydia to save Izzy from being kicked out. Alec is happy but still angry at Jace for risking everything. Jace asks Clary how she knew Michael was a fake. She says his stories didn't make sense. Jace feels stupid for believing him, but Clary tries to make him feel better. Alec tells Magnus and Izzy that the cup has been returned. Magnus takes Alec outside and gives him back his bow and arrow. He tells Alec that even though Lydia is a good person, marrying her will make everyone sad. Alec doesn't listen to him and keeps the bow. Meanwhile, Luke explains everything to Simon, including that Jace and Clary are brother and sister. Simon is secretly happy about this news because it means he now has a chance with Clary. In the last scene, Jace sits alone in his room, very sad about the news. Clary comes to his door but decides not to go in, leaving him alone. After Izzy is safe and the Mortal Cup is back at the Institute, everyone feels better. They are all excited about Alec's wedding to Lydia. Izzy is busy planning everything, but Jace is not paying attention. He is only focused on his mission, waking up Jocelyn so she can tell them about Valentine's plan. To do this, he needs to find the warlock who made the magic potion that put her to sleep. Alec thanks Clary for giving up the Mortal Cup to save Izzy. Clary thanks Alec for everything he has done for her. Later, Alec asks Magnus if he knows who made Jocelyn's potion. Magnus says he is looking into it, but then he changes the subject to Alec's love life. He tells Alec that marrying Lydia is a mistake and tells him to be honest about his feelings. Magnus says that if Alec can look him in the eye and say he really loves Lydia, he will stop bothering him. When Alec says he is confused, Magnus tells him that being confused is the first step to knowing what you want. But he warns him this is the last time he will try to talk to him about it. Clary asks Simon to come to the wedding with her. Meanwhile, Clary, Jace, Hodge, and Magnus find out that a warlock named Ragnar Fell probably made the potion. Ragnar is an old friend of Magnus and used to be a teacher at the Shadowhunter school in Idris. This means he was one of the few warlocks close to Jocelyn. He hasn't answered Magnus' messages, probably because he's afraid Valentine set a trap. So, the group decides to go see him in person. As they get ready to leave, Alec and Lydia offer to help, but Jace coldly tells Alec to just worry about his wedding. Clary tries to talk to Jace about how weird it is between them now that they know they are brother and sister, but Jace feels so bad about it that he won't talk. Izzy tries one last time to ask Alec if he is sure about the wedding. When Alec says he is, Izzy stops arguing and promises to support him, just like he supported her. She also says she is throwing him a party since he and Jace are not getting along. Magnus, Clary, and Jace go to Ragnar's house. They find a wall of green magic fire that only people with a pure heart can go through. All three of them walk into it, but only Clary gets to the other side. She finds Ragnar's house and sees him hiding inside a painting. Ragnar says he was just testing her. He lets Jace and Magnus out of his magic spell. Ragnar tells them he made the potion using the Book of the White, a very powerful spellbook. He asks Jocelyn to hide the book so Valentine couldn't find it. When Clary asks how they can wake her mother without it, Ragnar says he might have something to help them find the book. He goes into the next room but is suddenly attacked and killed by a demon. Magnus is very sad that his oldest friend is dead. Jace wants to leave right away because he's afraid of more demons, but Clary wants to find whatever Ragnar was looking for. Magnus opens a portal to send Clary and Jace back to the Institute. He sends Ragnar's things to his own apartment so he can look through them safely. Back at the Institute, Jace thinks Lydia is the secret helper who told Valentine where they were. Clary and Izzy say she's innocent because he has no proof. Clary asks Lydia about it directly. Lydia gives a good reason why it wasn't her. If she was working for Valentine, she would have already given him the cup. Izzy asks Simon for advice on how to throw a good party for Alec. Simon says it's not about the party, it's about the people. It's a chance for best friends to show they care about each other. Izzy takes his advice and brings Jace to Alec. The two finally talk and make up. Jace says he is sorry for being selfish and distant and explains that his life has been a mess. Alec says he feels the same way and they fix their parabatai bond. At his apartment, Magnus looks through Ragnar's things. He sees a vision of Ragnar who gives him advice. Ragnar tells Magnus that he hasn't let anyone get close to him for 100 years, but he shouldn't give up on Alec. He tells him to fight for his love. Magnus knows his friend is right. The wedding starts. Alec's parents tell him they are proud of him. Just as the wedding is about to end, Magnus runs into the room. Everyone is shocked. Alec's mother, Maurice, tells him to leave, but Magnus says he will only leave if Alec tells him to. Alec looks at Magnus and you can see he is torn. Lydia sees this and tells him he should be happy and do what his heart wants. Alec says sorry to Lydia, walks down to Magnus, and kisses him in front of everyone. Robert and Maurice walk out angry, but Simon, Izzy, and Jace are happy for Alec. Jace thanks Lydia for what she did. Lydia says she did the right thing and plans to go back to Idris and focus on work. Later, the group finds a bookmark in the Book of the White. It tells them where the book is. It is with Camille, who is locked in the basement of the Hotel Dumort. Meanwhile, Lydia goes to the study to get the Mortal Cup before she leaves for Idris. Someone attacks her from behind, knocks her out, and steals the cup. Clary shows Jace a box of her mother's things. It shows that Jace's real first name is Jonathan. Jace tells her that he feels a darkness inside him because part of him wanted to join Valentine. Clary tells him that he is not evil and that they will figure things out together. Alec's parents talk to him. Maurice is angry that he embarrassed the family for a downworlder. Robert is not sure how to feel. After they leave, Alec asks Magnus out on a real date. In the hospital room, Luke is sitting with the unconscious Jocelyn. Hodge comes in and tells Luke to go get some rest and he will watch her. Once Luke leaves, Hodge puts on a magic ring and talks to Valentine. We find out that Hodge was the secret helper all along. He tells Valentine he has the cup and will bring it to him, but only if Valentine removes the rune that traps him inside the Institute. Valentine agrees. After this, we see Jace still telling himself that he is evil. Clary tries to make him feel better, but Jace says that Clary was raised by Jocelyn, but he was trained by Valentine to be evil. He wishes he had killed Valentine when he had the chance. Clary says she has questions too, and they need to wake Jocelyn to get answers. They tell Simon that the Book of the White is with Camille. Simon says he will set up a meeting with Raphael, because he is the only one who knows where Camille is. Alec's mother, Maurice, is angry with him, not because he kissed a man, but because that man is Magnus Bane, a warlock who has a bad reputation. Alec's parents warn him that he doesn't really know Magnus, but Alec says he plans to get to know him. He leaves to thank Lydia. On the way, he meets Magnus, who tells him to give his parents time to forgive him. Alec and Magnus then find Lydia passed out in a room. They get her help right away. Jace, Alec, Izzy, and Clary check the security videos. They see Hodge knock out Lydia, steal the mortal cup, and use a ring to talk to Valentine, who removes the rune that traps Hodge in the Institute. They are shocked and hurt that Hodge, who was like family to them, betrayed them. They know now that the earlier attack by the zombie-like Forsaken wasn't to kill Hodge, but to bring him the ring. They figure out that Hodge is taking the cup to Valentine, who plans to make a Shadowhunter army and destroy the world. Hodge gives the cup to Valentine. Valentine is happy with him, and Hodge is happy to finally be free after being a prisoner for years. Valentine puts the cup into a tub of blood, which turns golden. He gives a drink from the cup to one of his followers. The man goes through a painful change but lives and becomes a new Shadowhunter. This proves Valentine can now make his own army. Jace and Alec get ready to hunt down Hodge. Clary warns Jace that going without a plan is dangerous, but Jace blames himself for everything: Lydia's injury, Hodge's escape, because he didn't kill Valentine. He ignores Clary and tells her to find the Book of the White without him. He leaves with Alec. Luke sends his werewolf pack to help look for Hodge. Valentine puts a circle rune on his new Shadowhunter and tells him to find Jace and Clary. He then tells Hodge to leave. Hodge complains that he proved he was loyal, but Valentine says he can't trust someone who betrays their own people and tells him to go. Izzy and Clary meet Raphael at the Hotel Dumort. They ask for the Book of the White and say they need to talk to Camille. Raphael says no because Camille is too dangerous. He offers to give them her things instead, but he won't let them see her. Jace finds Hodge. He asks for the mortal cup, but Hodge says it's with Valentine. They fight. Hodge says betraying them was the only way to be free. He says the clave is not fair, pointing out that Alec's parents were in the circle but weren't punished like he was. Jace cuts off Hodge's hand and is about to kill him when Alec stops him. Alec calms Jace down and tells him that Hodge should be in prison, not dead. Alec takes Hodge away. Jace takes the ring to talk to Valentine. Valentine tells Jace they are the same, but Jace says no. He says he wanted to kill a traitor, while Valentine kills innocent people. Valentine asks Jace to join him. He says the clave is too weak to stop the demons and that together they can save the world. Jace says he is coming for Valentine, but not to join him. At the Hotel Dumort, Raphael brings Camille's things to Izzy. He notices Clary is gone. We see that Simon has snuck Clary inside a box to where Camille is being kept. Raphael figures this out and leaves. Meanwhile, Luke tells Alec he is worried about Jace. He's afraid Jace might do something crazy because he thinks he is evil. Luke saw the same signs in Valentine years ago, but promises they won't let Jace become like him. Suddenly, they realize Jace and Hodge are gone. Simon and Clary open Camille's coffin. Simon asks Clary if she is sure about this, because freeing Camille will ruin the peace he made with the vampires. Clary says they have to do it. Camille wakes up and tries to attack Clary, but Clary stops her with a sword. Camille says she has the book, but will only give it to them if they set her free. Jace calls Alec and says he is going to kill Valentine. Alec tries to stop him, but Jace hangs up. Jace then hurts Hodge to find out where Valentine is. Back at the hotel, Clary and Simon try to sneak Camille out, but Raphael catches them. He says their friendship is over and tells the vampires to attack. Just then, Izzy breaks a wall and sunlight comes in, stopping the vampires. The group escapes with Camille. Camille wants one more thing before she gives them the book, a paper signed by Simon that says he asked to be turned into a vampire. This would make it so Camille didn't commit a crime by killing him. Clary is very angry, but Simon agrees to sign it to save Jocelyn. They go to Magnus' apartment to write the paper. Magnus and Camille used to date, so it's an awkward meeting. Camille smells a Shadowhunter on Magnus and kisses him. Alex sees this and gets jealous. Camille makes fun of him, saying Magnus will live forever and their love won't last. Simon says he won't sign the paper until they are where the book is. Jace gets to Valentine's old hideout, but it's empty. He uses the ring to call Valentine again. Valentine hints that he is going after Jace's weakness, his friends Jace and Clary. Jace tries to call Clary, but she doesn't answer. The group gets to Camille's apartment. She says the Book of the White is hidden somewhere in her huge library. Clary finally answers Jace's call. He warns her that Valentine is coming for her and tells her to leave, but she says no. Jace rushes to find her. Clary finds a cookbook and knows it's the hiding spot. She uses a piece of cloth to show its real form, the Book of the White. Just then, Valentine arrives. He captures Simon, Izzy, Alec, and Magnus. Jace runs in, ready to fight, but Valentine threatens to kill his friends. Valentine offers a deal. If Jace joins him, he will let the others go. Jace agrees. Clary begs him not to go, but Jace leaves with Valentine to save them. Alec holds Clary back as she cries. The group goes back to the Institute with the book and Hodge, who is locked up. Simon comforts Clary and promises they will get Jace back. Magnus uses the Book of the White to wake Jocelyn. She wakes up and everyone is happy. Jocelyn tries to explain why she hid the truth, but Clary just hugs her, happy to have her mother back. In the final scene, Valentine talks to his new army of Shadowhunters with Jace by his side. He says they will destroy all demons. That's the end of Season 1. Hope you liked it. If yes, please hype the video and subscribe to the channel.